My name is Ella Clausen. I'm 29, and if stability had a face, it would probably look like mine. Calm, practical, predictable. Or at least that's what my boyfriend Noah started calling me before everything fell apart. But before the world labeled me safe, before my life split into before and after, Noah and I were just two people at a rooftop party in July. I was there because my coworker insisted I needed to touch grass, and Noah was there because, as he put it later, creative souls belong above ground level. He was the kind of man who laughed with his whole chest, who threw out wild ideas for fun, who could turn a grocery trip into a spontaneous photo shoot. He worked in social media content for small brands, made about $45,000 a year, but carried himself like the universe owed him a spotlight. He was magnetic, vibrant, messy, in a way I wasn't used to, and I was drawn to him like everyone else. I, on the other hand, was the opposite, a senior data analyst for a consulting firm downtown. 5 years climbing from junior analyst to my current $110,000 salary. I had a sensible car, a tidy apartment, a quiet routine. I liked things that made sense: spreadsheets, savings accounts, steady growth. Maybe that's why Noah fascinated me. He made life feel cinematic. Our first date was at an Italian restaurant he insisted on. He ordered the most expensive pasta without batting an eye, joked about how the energy of first dates is always chaotic, then let me pay the check without pretending to reach for his wallet. A red flag I folded into a paper crane and pretended was art. The first 8 months were a dream. He taught me how to loosen up. I taught him how to breathe. There was music in our kitchen, dancing while chopping vegetables. Well, while I chopped vegetables, because cooking wasn't his love language. When we decided to move in together, it felt natural. Too fast, maybe, but natural. I found a gorgeous 2-bedroom downtown. Rent was $2,800. I suggested we split it proportionally. He made less, so it made sense. He frowned and said, "Ella, that feels transactional. Equals split things equally." Turns out equally meant I paid every month while he Venmo'd bits and pieces until he gave up altogether. Utilities? He handled those. About $200 total. Groceries? He'd buy random aesthetic snacks and then put DoorDash on my card. In numbers, I was covering about 86% of our life together. But love makes accountants bad at counting. Then came the debt. One night, Noah sat on our couch, shoulders trembling, telling me he'd racked up $8,000 on his credit card. Supplies for his resin art shop on Etsy. Thousands of dollars in molds, pigments, and Instagram ads, all for a store that sold maybe 12 resin coasters. I paid it off. I told him we'd reset, start fresh, budget smarter. We never did. Soon Noah quit his job because his boss was stifling his creativity, and he was meant for bigger things. He began freelancing, which meant he made roughly $800 a month while sitting in coffee shops, taking pictures of latte foam. I covered rent, bills, groceries, everything. He called it temporary. Temporary became normal. Then the word safe started slipping in. "You're just so safe, Ella." Sometimes he said it like a compliment, sometimes like a diagnosis. Then came Veronica Hale, his ex-girlfriend, turned self-proclaimed lifestyle consultant, turned influencer with vague hustle quotes and photos of leased designer handbags. Veronica dripped poison with a smile. She introduced Noah to the world of high-value men. According to her, real men took risks, built empires, weren't satisfied with corporate lifestyles. My stable salary, retirement account, and 5-year plan? Cute but limiting, she'd say. Soon Noah was quoting her constantly. "You think too small, Ella. You're stuck in scarcity mindset. You're safe. Safe is nice, but safe isn't inspiring." Every time he said it, something inside me dimmed. The real crack came at the pre-trip dinner. Noah was leaving the next morning for a 5-day creative expansion trip with Veronica's crew. Pool parties, networking, overpriced resorts. $3,000 he didn't have. At dinner, Veronica sat at the head of the table like she was hosting a royal banquet. The 6 of them laughed loudly, drinking cocktails with edible flowers. Every man talked about crypto and NFTs. Every woman took filtered photos of their plates. When the $420 bill landed, Noah slid it toward me with a smile that wasn't a request. It was an expectation. I paid, silent. Then Veronica leaned back, eyes glinting. "Noah, you need people who push you, people who level you up. You can't grow if your partner wants to stay safe. Her eyes drifted to me. Noah didn't defend me. He laughed. I felt the floor tilt. On the walk home, I finally spoke. Noah, why do you let them talk about me like that? He didn't hesitate. Because they're right, he said, shrugging. Ella, my friends think you're holding me back. Honestly, they're not wrong. I stopped walking, stopped breathing. He kept talking. You're predictable. You're a nice girl with a stable job, but I need someone who challenges me. Someone who's not afraid to take risks. I want more from life than spreadsheets. I stared at the man I had supported for 2 years, paid for, believed in, built a home with. You agree with them? I whispered. He didn't blink. I just need to be around winners for a bit, he said. To breathe. Breathe? He'd been suffocating me for months. He kissed the air near my cheek, dismissive, empty, then went upstairs to pack for his trip. I stood alone in the quiet apartment I paid for, surrounded by furniture I bought, looking at the door he'd walked through so carelessly. And something inside me didn't break. It clicked. He didn't need a safe woman. He needed someone to sponsor his fantasy life. And I was done auditioning. The next morning, he left for the airport. And for the first time in our relationship, I felt free. Noah left for his 5-day trip on a Thursday morning. He didn't hug me. He didn't even look me in the eye. He just said, "Don't overthink everything while I'm gone, okay? You're safe, Ella. You'll be fine." The door clicked behind him, and for the first time in months, the silence didn't feel heavy. It felt honest. I stood there, looking around the apartment I paid for, surrounded by furniture I bought, and understood something with a quiet certainty. When Noah came back, I wouldn't be here, and neither would anything with my name, money, or effort attached to it. I walked room to room, not to mourn anything, but to catalog it. The bed, mine. The couch, mine. The TV, the desk, the monitors, the shelves, the kitchen appliances, mine. It was almost poetic. Noah contributed ambition. I contributed actual life maintenance. I texted Bianca, "Is your brother's truck free today?" Her reply came instantly. "For you? Always. What's happening?" A long overdue reset. By 10 a.m., the truck rolled up. Bianca climbed out of the passenger side holding iced coffees, like this was a celebration rather than an evacuation. Her brother Caleb stepped out, took one look inside the apartment, and let out a low whistle. Wow, he really didn't buy anything, did he? No, I said. He loaned moral support. We got to work. I started with the bedroom. Caleb unbolted my bed frame, wrapped it in moving blankets, and hauled it into the truck as if it weighed nothing. Bianca recorded everything on her phone. Receipts, items, dates, because she knew Noah would claim I had stolen things he never lifted a finger to obtain. We boxed my books, my workstation, my clothes, my decor. We wrapped the couch, the coffee table, the lamps. We cleared out the kitchen, my mixer, my pans, my espresso machine. Noah's things remained untouched. The cracked ring light, the resin molds, the thrift store dresser, the hoodies he treated like a personality. I didn't take anything that wasn't mine. I didn't need to. At noon, Caleb called out, "Internet router's in your name, right?" "Already canceled," I said. He laughed. "Ice cold." "No," I said, sealing the box. "Just finished." By early afternoon, the apartment looked like a photograph after everything meaningful had been edited out. His items sat in lonely little clusters, like remnants of a habitat no longer supported by its environment. Bianca walked through the empty living room. "He's going to lose his mind," she said. "He already lost his respect," I answered. Before leaving, I wrote him a note and placed it on the kitchen counter. "Gone somewhere I'm respected. Good luck leveling up." Then I left the keys beside it, took one final look at everything I was choosing to walk away from, and shut the door for the last time. In the truck, as Caleb pulled away, I opened my laptop and wrote the email to Noah and Tom, our landlord. "Noah, I have moved out effective immediately. Per the lease terms, you may either split the lease break penalty, $2,800 each, or take over the lease independently if you qualify. If neither is completed by the end of the month, you alone will be responsible for the remaining rent. All my belongings are removed. Yours remain untouched. Ella." Clean, simple, documented. We unloaded everything into a storage unit, then I headed straight to the showing for the apartment I'd scheduled the night before. I walked in dusty, sweaty, and more alive than I had felt in 2 years. The leasing agent blinked at me. "Long day?" "One of the best," I said. I signed the lease on the spot. A quiet one-bedroom, sunlight streaming across the hardwood floors, Not a trace of Noah's chaos anywhere in it. I stepped inside and let myself breathe, for real, for the first time. A few hours later, right around the time Noah's plane must have landed, my phone began vibrating nonstop. Ella, where are you? All your stuff is gone. This isn't funny. Where is the TV? You took the bed? Answer me right now. Ella, this is insane. How am I supposed to live like this? Then came the emotional whiplash. Babe, please call me. We can talk. I didn't mean what I said. You're overreacting. Please come home. Then the threat. If you don't answer, I'm calling the police. Bianca, reading over my shoulder, burst out laughing. What's he going to tell them? Officer, she took the furniture she bought? I muted the conversation. Not blocked, not deleted. Muted, because noise like that doesn't deserve attention. That evening, I lay on the floor of my empty new apartment, my head resting on a rolled-up jacket, the city lights spilling across the room. I stared at the ceiling and exhaled everything I'd been carrying. I wasn't safe, I wasn't predictable, I wasn't holding anyone back. I was free. Noah's messages didn't stop. If anything, muting them just made him send more. By morning, my phone showed 47 unread texts, 11 missed calls, and 3 voicemails. I didn't open a single one. I made coffee in my new, quiet apartment, the same espresso machine he used to brag about manifesting before I bought it, and sat on the floor, legs crossed, feeling the light coming in through the windows. I wondered how long it would take before panic replaced anger. Turns out, not long. Around noon, I finally glanced at previews of his texts. Are you seriously doing this? Ella, this is childish. I can't believe you took everything. You left me with nothing. This is financial abuse. You're ruining my life. We need to talk about rent. Tom says you're refusing to pay your half? What is wrong with you? It was incredible how quickly a man who considered himself a high-value risk-taker reverted to a helpless child when the world stopped cushioning him. By the second day, the tone shifted again. Ella, I'm sorry. I was stressed. I didn't mean those things. Please just talk to me. I can't sleep without the bed. Do you want me to move out? I can move out. Please don't leave me like this. But he still didn't say the one thing that mattered. I respect you. I didn't respond. The landlord calls. Tom, our landlord, called me mid-afternoon. Ella, I spoke with Noah. He's upset. I nearly laughed. Upset was an understatement. He mentioned, Tom continued, that you abandoned the lease and that legally you must continue paying. I kept my voice steady. Tom, I emailed both of you the options, and you know I've paid every month so far. Tom sighed. Yes, looked over the ledger. He contributed. Almost nothing. Almost was generous. He cleared his throat. Between us, I think you handled this exactly by the book. Noah's saying he can't qualify to take over the lease. He needs a roommate or he needs to pay the break fee. He doesn't have either, I said. No, Tom agreed. He doesn't. There was a long pause before he added quietly, honestly, Ella, good for you. I've seen people take advantage of someone reliable. Happens more often than you think. We hung up. I stared at my coffee, a quiet certainty settling over me. For the first time, someone outside the relationship saw what was happening. Noah's world begins to crack. Later that evening, Bianca sent screenshots from someone who followed Noah on social media. He had posted a blurry picture of our empty apartment with the caption, "When someone betrays your loyalty, you learn who you are." The comments were predictable. You deserve better, King. She wasn't built for the grind. Ella sounds insecure AF. Level up by losing dead weight. I laughed. Out loud. In my kitchen. Dead weight? I had been paying for the helium balloon he called a lifestyle. But by the next day, the tone changed again. Another screenshot from Bianca. Noah's followers were asking real questions. Wait, didn't she pay your rent? Didn't she fund your business? Bro, weren't you jobless? Is this about that influencer trip? Even better, several of Veronica's friends quietly unfollowed him. The moment he stopped looking like a promising brand-building partner, the respect vanished. Influencer loyalty lasts exactly as long as the aesthetic does. The family intervention. 2 days later, an unknown number called me. I normally let those go to voicemail, but something told me to pick up. Hello, I said. A woman's voice answered, syrupy and strained. Ella, this is Patricia, Noah's mother. Of course. Good afternoon, I said. Oh, sweetheart, I just wanted to talk. Noah is devastated. He told me what happened, and I just want to say... He made a terrible mistake. He knows that now. Noah admitting fault? That would be a miracle. He said, she continued, you left him in an apartment he cannot afford. He's heartbroken. He feels abandoned. I inhaled slowly. Patricia, I supported your son financially for almost 2 years. Well, that's what partners do, she said quickly. You invest in each other. Invest. A funny word for subsidizing a grown man's lifestyle. Your son insulted my career, my character, and my stability, I said calmly. Then he left for an expensive trip he couldn't afford while I paid all our bills. Patricia scoffed. That's not the point. The point is you humiliated him by leaving like this. You should help him transition. No, I said simply. Silence. Sharp, shocked silence. I won't continue supporting him, I said. He's an adult. He can take responsibility now. Her voice snapped. You are being selfish. Noah is suffering. He should have thought of that before calling me safe like it was an insult. She inhaled sharply, preparing a guilt trip. I ended the call before she could deliver it. I blocked the number. The collapse. By week's end, Noah could no longer delay reality. Tom sent him a formal notice. No rent, the eviction process begins. His text grew frantic. Ella, please. I can't get approved for the lease. I don't have a roommate. You're ruining my future. I can't afford to move. Please help me just this month. I'll change. I need you. Ella, please respond. I read every one. I responded to none. Because every apology he sent came attached to a demand. Because every I need you meant I need your paycheck. Because every please was built on years of assuming I'd always be there. I wasn't. The final blow. One last text came near midnight. My friends ditched me. Even Veronica won't answer me. I have no one. I set my phone down. There was nothing left to say. Not from me, not to him. Noah had always wanted to be surrounded by people who helped him level up. He finally got what he wanted. Everyone who couldn't benefit from him walked away, and the only person who ever supported him left too. I turned off my phone, curled up on my new mattress, and let silence wrap around me like something soft and earned. For the first time in years, I slept without tension, without waiting for the next crisis, without holding someone else's life together. I slept peacefully. 3 weeks passed. 3 weeks of complete silence from me, and 3 weeks of escalating chaos from Noah. He lost the apartment. Officially. Tom filed the eviction paperwork after Noah failed to pay even half of the rent. Moving back home wasn't a choice. It was the only option he had left. His influencer friends vanished. Veronica blocked him. His group chats went silent. The ones who used to hype him up with fake wisdom and level up energy suddenly pretended they'd never known him at all. I didn't check on him. Not once. I was done trying to save someone who mistook my stability for a cage. While Noah's life unraveled, mine quietly rebuilt itself. My new apartment started to feel warm, lived in. My books were on shelves again. My desk overlooked the city. My days were peaceful. My nights were my own. No insults disguised as jokes. No unpaid bills dropped in my lap. No emotional whiplash. I had space. I had clarity. And somehow, without meaning to, I had someone new. His name was Daniel. We'd met at a tech networking event, one I actually went to because Noah was no longer complaining that I was obsessed with my career. Daniel was an architect, sharp-witted and unpretentious. He made stressful things funny, not heavy. He listened. He asked questions. He didn't treat ambition like a personality contest. He didn't demand anything from me except honesty. When my company received an award for a project I'd led, something Noah would have dismissed as corporate validation, Daniel insisted on taking me out to celebrate. When the City Tech Gala invited us both, he looked genuinely excited, not intimidated or annoyed. I had never felt so respected. The gala. The ballroom shimmered with soft gold light. Everyone was dressed like the night mattered. Daniel looked incredible in a tailored black tux. And for once, I felt beautiful in a way that wasn't about impressing someone else. We spent most of the evening laughing at absolutely everything. The event photographer practically begged us to stop making each other grin so widely. Stay here, I told Daniel. I'm going to grab us some champagne. I made my way to the bar, heels clicking against the polished floor, enjoying the sound of my own confidence. And then I saw him. Noah. He wasn't attending the gala. He wasn't dressed for it either, just a cheap red promotional dress shirt and black slacks that didn't fit. He was carrying a tray of energy drink samples, weaving through the crowd with a forced grin. He saw me before I saw him. His smile cracked immediately. His eyes dropped to my dress, then to my jewelry, then to my posture, straight, calm, grounded. Then he saw Daniel waiting for me. The tray in his hands dipped slightly. He abandoned it on a nearby table and made his way toward me, eyes locked like he was crossing a desert and I was water. Ella, he breathed out. Wow, you look incredible. I didn't respond. He stared at me, swallowing hard. Are you here for the awards? Yes, I said. Right, of course, you work here. I mean, you don't work here, but you work with the people here. I'm doing this brand ambassador thing. Temporary. Just picking up extra cash. I nodded once. I see. He seemed thrown by how calm I was. Ella, please. His voice dropped. Please don't walk away. I've been trying to reach you for months. I know. I'm sorry, he blurted. God, I was so stupid. There was so much pressure. Veronica was in my ear. All those people. They made me feel like I wasn't enough. I said horrible things. You didn't deserve any of it. He stepped closer. You were the best thing in my life, the only real thing I had. I know that now. I looked at him without anger, without softness, without anything he could grab hold of. I have to get back to my date, I said. Wait! His hand shot out and landed on my arm. Please. I'm living with my parents. I lost everything. My friends, the apartment. Everyone left. Don't you see? I learned my lesson. I stared at his hand until he pulled it back. We can start over, he begged. I'll be better. I swear I'll be better. I leaned in slightly, voice low. Noah, you're not a joke to me. Hope flickered across his face. I continued. You're not anything to me. The hope died. Right then, Daniel walked up, placing a gentle hand on my back. Everything okay? He asked. Perfect, I said, turning toward him with a small smile. Daniel glanced at Noah politely, then back at me. I found us a spot on the terrace, he said. I nodded, lacing my fingers through Daniel's as naturally as breathing. Before we walked away, Noah whispered, voice cracking, Ella, please. I didn't answer, didn't look back, didn't owe him a final line. Daniel and I stepped into the warm evening air, the city lights stretching around us, and for the